Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape, especially in the NFC North, you've probably heard whispers, rumors, and some pretty compelling signals that the Green Bay Packers are looking to shake things up. And one of the biggest moves on the horizon might just be a game changer for the team's offensive line. We're talking about a potential revival, a resurrection of sorts, with the Packers aiming to bolster their trenches, and it all points toward the possible acquisition of none other than Quentin Nelson from the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, you heard that right, Nelson, the all-pro guard who's been a cornerstone for the Colts, might soon be wearing the green and gold, and if this happens, it could accelerate the Packers' offensive resurgence in incredible ways. Right now, the Packers are sitting at 3-1-1, showing resilience and a clear intent to contend, especially after a strong start. They're in a position where they're looking to optimize their roster, to push for that elusive Super Bowl appearance once again. And it's no coincidence that the focus has shifted towards upgrading their interior offensive line, an area that's been a bit of a question mark earlier in the season. The team has seen some injuries and inconsistencies, but with the potential addition of Nelson, they could elevate their run blocking, pass protection, and overall offensive efficiency. Imagine a line that features Elgton Jenkins, who's already a top-tier talent, alongside Nelson, a proven multi-year All-Pro, and the impact that can have on quarterback Jordan Love, especially in critical moments of the game. Let's talk a little more about Nelson. Drafted in 2018 out of Notre Dame, this guy has been a beast at guard. His stats speak volumes. In 2025, he's allowed only 3 pressures, which is phenomenal for an interior lineman, especially considering he's facing some of the best defensive tackles in the league. He's allowed 0 sacks so far, which is a rare feat, and he's winning over 80% of his run blocks, ranking among the top in the league. His EPA per block is elite, at plus 0.19, and his PFF grade is an impressive 89.2, placing him among the very best. Not to mention, he's been piling up pancakes, 14 so far this season, which puts him among the top 3 in the league, and generating yards after catch on runs, averaging 4 or 5 yards per rush. The guy is a technician, a game changer, and he'd bring a level of stability and elite performance that could transform the Packers' offense. And it's not just about Nelson's individual brilliance. His presence on the line would complement Elgton Jenkins, who's been a versatile star for Green Bay. Jenkins, who has dealt with some injuries himself, especially that ankle injury that cost him a couple of games, remains a top performer when healthy. His zone blocking ability, win rate, and overall pass and run protections are elite. In fact, some projections suggest that adding Nelson could boost the Packers' rushing efficiency by around 22%, increasing their yards per game from roughly 110 to 140, which is a significant jump. It's the kind of upgrade that can help Jordan Love open up the offense, giving him more time, more lanes, and more confidence to push the ball downfield. Now, let's not forget the strategic context here. The Colts, who are sitting at a modest 3-3, are in a tricky spot. They are in the AFC South, a division where they're not exactly dominating. In fact, their playoff odds are quite slim, around plus 9,000, and they're probably looking at a rebuild rather than a deep playoff run. They might be willing to trade Nelson, especially if they're aiming to free up cap space to extend their young quarterback, Anthony Richardson, or to bolster their defensive line, like Buckner. The Colts are in a rebuild mode, and moving Nelson could be part of that plan, opening up cap space and draft picks to focus on the future. For the Packers, this is a clear opportunity. Adding Nelson would not only improve their offensive line, but also send a statement to the league that they're all in, that they're serious about contending again. The impact on their offense could be dramatic. With Nelson anchoring the interior, the run game could explode, especially early on with a guy like Josh Jacobs, who's already shown flashes of explosiveness with 400 rushing yards in the early weeks. The team's run game efficiency is projected to improve by about 14 plays per game, which could be a real game changer against divisional rivals like the Lions. And looking ahead to the postseason, the odds are shifting for the Packers. Before this news, their Super Bowl odds were around plus 3,000, But with the potential addition of Nelson and the upgrades on the line, those odds could tighten significantly, possibly dropping to plus 1,500 or even better. The NFC itself is competitive, with teams like the Eagles, 49ers, and Cowboys vying for supremacy, but Green Bay's revamped offensive line could be the X factor that propels them further in the playoffs, especially in the red zone, where Nelson's presence could boost their efficiency by approximately 25%, making them even more dangerous in tight games. Now, for the division, the NFC North is shaping up to be a fierce battleground. The Lions have shown flashes of brilliance, the Vikings are always lurking, but the Packers, with this potential upgrade, could shift the balance of power. Imagine a scenario where Jordan Love is protected better, his passing grades improve, and the run game becomes more consistent. That's a recipe for sustained success, and it's exactly what the Packers need to make a deep playoff run again. The NFL is a league of trenches, and if Green Bay can dominate up front, they'll be a tough team to beat come December and January. As we analyze the broader picture, it's clear that the Packers aren't just building for this season. They're planting seeds for the future, and acquiring a player like Nelson could be part of a long-term blueprint. It's a move that would send a message to the rest of the league that Green Bay is back in the fight, ready to contend with the best. With a cap space of around $12 million, they have the flexibility to make this kind of move, and the coaching staff, led by Matt LaFleur, is known for maximizing the talent they have. They've already shown that they can adapt and evolve, and adding Nelson would be another step in that direction. Of course, there are questions and risks involved. Moving Nelson would require draft picks or possibly some cap maneuvers, but the potential upside outweighs the risks. The offensive line, when healthy and well-coached, can be the backbone of a championship team. The Packers are aware of that, and with the right pieces, they could make a serious push for a Super Bowl appearance. The NFC landscape is competitive, but with a revitalized line anchored by Nelson, they could be the dark horse that surprises everyone. So, in summary, this move, if it materializes, could be one of the most significant shifts in the NFL this season. The Packers, already on a promising trajectory, could take a giant leap forward with Nelson protecting Jordan Love and opening up the running game. The division rivals better be watching closely because a Packers team with a dominant offensive line is a whole different beast. It's a bold strategy, but in football, sometimes the boldest moves lead to the greatest rewards. And for us, fans of Green Bay, it's an exciting time to be following this team, knowing that big things might be just around the corner. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now looking even further into the specifics, the impact of Nelson on the offensive line would be measurable and immediate. His ability to win blocks, especially in the run game, is among the best in the league. His zone blocking success rate, for example, hovers around 82%, which is top tier, and his overall win rate on double teams is about 68%. These numbers translate directly into more yards per carry, more sustained drives, and fewer sacks for Jordan Love. Plus, Nelson's presence could elevate the entire offensive line's confidence, allowing Jenkins and the other linemen to play more aggressively, knowing they have a proven veteran anchoring the interior. And let's not forget the impact on the defense's perspective. When the Packers establish a strong run game, it opens up opportunities for play-action passes, which Love can take advantage of. It also keeps the defense honest, preventing them from stacking the box against the run. That's crucial in the NFC North, where physicality and ground-and-pound football often decide games. The added explosive plays from the run, thanks to Nelson's blocking, could be the difference-maker in tight divisional battles, especially against teams like the Lions, who rely heavily on their offensive firepower. From an organizational standpoint, this potential trade signals a shift toward a more aggressive, win-now mentality. The Packers have a talented core, with Jordan Love developing nicely and some promising young players on defense. The offensive line upgrade would be the final piece to ensure they're not just competitive, but legitimate contenders. With Nelson anchoring the middle, the team's offensive blueprint becomes more robust, adaptable, and capable of handling the high-pressure moments that define playoff football. In terms of fan excitement, this is what we've been waiting for. Green Bay has a history of making bold moves when it counts, and acquiring a player of Nelson's caliber would be a statement that they're committed to returning to the top. It's a move that could inspire not only the players, but also the entire fan base, reinvigorating the passion that makes Lambeau Field one of the most iconic venues in sports. Imagine the scenes, the chants, the energy, all centered around a strengthened defensive line that's ready to take on any challenge. So as we watch this story unfold, remember that football is a game of trenches, and the line of scrimmage often decides the fate of a season. The Packers are making a calculated, strategic move to ensure that they can dominate up front, control the clock, and give Jordan Love every chance to succeed. If this trade happens, it's not just about adding a star. It's about transforming the team's identity and setting the stage for a postseason push that could go all the way to Super Bowl LXI. The odds might shift, the division rivals might sweat, but Green Bay fans, this is the kind of bold, visionary move that keeps the NFL exciting and unpredictable. And as always, we'll be here to cover every twist and turn along the way, bringing you the latest and most comprehensive updates on your Green Bay Packers. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.